In August 2023, there was this single rounding down error in a line of smart contract code.
Yeah, just one tiny error.
Right, and it drained millions of dollars from a major protocol in like a matter of seconds. I mean, it wasn't a brute force hack.
No, not at all.
It was just a tiny mathematical oversight that, allowed attackers to manipulate pricing logic, and poof, the funds were just gone.
It just vanished. It's wild.
Exactly. So today, for this deep dive, we're looking at the people who actually sell the mathematical cure to that exact nightmare.
Yeah, we're dissecting a really fascinating sort of high-wire act of trust distribution because we're talking about a market where, honestly, trust is practically the only currency that matters.
We really are. And we've got an amazing stack of sources for you today to, pull the curtain back.
Oh, yeah, really good stuff today.
We're looking at an internal onboarding packet, a highly specific sales script, and this technical briefing document for a Web3 security division called Oracle Audit.
Right, which operates under Oracle on-chain.
Exactly. So the mission for this deep dive is to decode the intense high-stakes role of their commission-based field agents.
It's not what you'd expect.
Not at all. We are going to unpack exactly what these agents do, how they pitch complex mathematical security to these, frankly, terrified tech founders.
Yeah, terrified is the right word.
And we'll walk through the exact 21-day playbook they use to go from, zero to closing massive deals.
And, if you're listening to this and wondering, why the sales tactics of a Web3 security firm actually matter to your understanding of the broader space, you really have to consider the sheer scale of the environment we're operating in.
Oh, it's massive.
Right. We are looking at a decentralized finance market where just the top 100 protocols have combined market capitalization of $93 billion.
$93 billion. That's huge.
It is. And in this environment, the single exploit doesn't just cause a temporary dip in a stock price. It can permanently destroy a project overnight.
Right, like we saw with Terra Luna.
Yeah. Exactly. The collapse of centralized entities like FTX and that Terra Luna crash, it just completely shattered public trust. So the field agent's job isn't merely moving a product.
Right.
It's this critical foundational function in rebuilding and distributing confidence across the entire ecosystem.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when you hear the phrase Web3 security agent, your mind probably goes straight to, I don't know, a white hat hacker.
Oh, totally. Like someone sitting in a dark room.
Yeah, furiously typing green code on a black screen to stop a cyber attack. But what an Oracle Audit field agent actually does is, well, it's completely different.
Night and day.
The onboarding packet is extremely explicit about the boundaries of the role. They do not perform the audits. They do not write the technical threat reports.
Right.
They don't even need to be able to read complex Solidity code or manage client infrastructure.
No, their entire mandate is communication, positioning, lead qualification, and mostly relationship building.
It's a people job.
Exactly. They're essentially acting as the human bridge between this highly abstract cryptographic math and the very visceral, very human emotion of fear that honestly every single Web3 founder lives with.
Think of it this way. It's like being a medical device rep.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. Like, you aren't the surgeon performing the open heart operation. You don't know how to physically bypass an artery.
But you still have to sell the tool.
Exactly. You have to sit in a room and convince a hospital board that your new robotic scalpel will absolutely not fail when a patient's life is on the line.
Yeah.
You have to understand the technology's architecture well enough to sell the absolute certainty of it.
That medical device analogy hits the nail on the head, really.
Yeah.
Because the technical backdrop here, the actual why behind those founders' fear, is incredibly complex.
It really is.
Building trust in Web3 right now feels impossible for a lot of builders because the threats are just evolving so much faster than the standard defenses.
Yeah, the technical briefing document we have highlights a few of these persistent nightmares that keep these founders awake. Like, one major issue is read-only reentrancy.
Oh man, read-only reentrancy is a massive headache.
It's fascinating, though. From what I understand, it's this vulnerability where an external protocol basically reads an inconsistent intermediate state from a liquidity pool before the final state is fully updated.
Right, it's a timing thing.
Yeah, it's almost like taking a snapshot of a bank vault while the money is physically being moved on a cart between rooms.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then you use that half-true picture to trick another bank into giving you a loan based on funds that aren't actually settled.
That is a brilliant way to visualize it. And, beyond reentrancy, you have those rounding errors we mentioned at the start.
Right, the balancer one.
Exactly. The document specifically cites that massive balancer exploit. And of course, there's the broader Oracle problem.
Oh, right. Because blockchains can't see the outside world?
Exactly. Blockchains are closed systems. They can't naturally access off-chain data like real-world asset prices. So they rely on external oracles to feed them that data.
And if that feed is wrong?
Yeah, if an oracle is compromised or manipulated, it feeds a bad price to the smart contract, and millions of dollars can be siphoned out through improper calculations before anyone even realizes the price feed was hijacked.
And what makes the agent's job so difficult is that to fight these threats, the underlying architecture of DeFi is constantly shifting.
It never stopped.
Like the docs mention Balancer v2 moving to a singleton vault model to shrink the attack surface.
Right.
They created a single central smart contract to manage all the token accounting for the entire protocol, so it separates the holding of assets from the pricing logic.
And the evolution doesn't stop there either. The documents show protocols moving toward V3 architectures using something called transient accounting,
Oh, yeah?
specifically leveraging EIP 1153.
Let's pause on EIP 1153 for a second, because that is a massive shift for you to understand. Instead of a smart contract permanently writing to the blockchain state at every single step of a complex multi-hop trade, which, costs an exorbitant amount of gas transient accounting, basically holds the math in temporary memory.
Right, temporary storage.
It tracks the net changes within a transaction and only settles the final amounts at the very end.
Which is great. It drastically reduces transaction costs, which is amazing for users. But it changes the security paradigm entirely.
How so?
Well, if a contract is poorly written and expects a temporary state to be permanent mid-transaction, a clever attacker can manipulate that transient memory.
Ah, okay.
So founders are dealing with these catastrophic risks, and the defensive architecture they are building on is morphing underneath their feet. That sheer terror dictates exactly how the Oracle audit agent must approach them.
Which leads us directly into the specific pitch formula they use to cut through all that noise. Because you can't just walk up to a founder who's terrified of transient accounting flaws and say, hey, want to buy a bug check?
No, they'd laugh you out of the room. What's fascinating here is the psychology behind the script.
Yeah.
The onboarding packet provides agents with an exact winning formula. It tells them to say, we don't just find bugs, we give you a verifiable security narrative investors trust.
Notice how that completely shifts the framing away from the technical weeds.
Completely. They don't mention code. They don't mention hackers.
No.
They pivot entirely to a concrete business outcome. They're selling the ability for a founder to look a venture capitalist in the eye and say, we are safe to deploy capital into.
And the briefing document pulls from this empirical analysis of over 1,500 DeFi protocols to prove this isn't just a clever psychological framing trick.
Right. It's not just spin.
It is an economic reality.
The numbers back up the pitch flawlessly. An audit from a top-tier firm acts as an economic catalyst.
Yeah.
Within the first week of going live post-audit, these protocols see a 37.47% average increase in their total value locked.
Wow.
That means massive amounts of new capital instantly flowing into the protocol purely based on the trust that audit generates.
And alongside that huge jump in TVL, they see a 42.46% increase in their active user base.
Which is massive.
It really creates this massive certification effect. Investors and users are essentially sitting on the sidelines waiting for that PDF report to drop before they risk their funds.
Yeah, they want that stamp of approval.
Interestingly, the data shows there's no significant effect on the actual token market valuation, implying that day trading token prices is driven more by social momentum.
Oh, definitely.
But for the protocol's actual utility, its locked liquidity and its adoption, the audit is the primary growth engine.
It absolutely is.
But I've got to push back on this because I'm putting myself in the shoes of a bootstrapped Web3 founder.
Okay, play devil's advocate.
Right. I'm burning cash, I have a runway to worry about, and I know I need that certification effect to get users. Why couldn't I just use a standard automated smart contract scanner? I can run my code through a cheap automated tool, get a PDF report, slap an audited badge on my website, and save myself tens of thousands of dollars. Why pay absolute top dollar for a human-led Oracle audit?
That is the single most common objection the agents face.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And the sales script systematically dismantles it by breaking down Oracle Audit's four-phase process.
Okay.
The agent will actually agree with you initially. They will validate that automated tools are fantastic, but they frame them purely as phase one.
I can see the founder arguing that phase one is enough, though. Like, if the scanner catches the syntax errors, isn't the code safe to deploy?
The agent's counter to that is where the real value proposition shines.
Yeah.
A scanner is essentially a spell checker.
The spell checker.
Yeah, it can tell you if a word is misspelled, but it cannot tell you if the plot of your novel makes any logical sense.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks. In Web3, the majority of the multi-million-dollar exploits don't stem from simple syntax errors. They stem from complex business logic flaws.
Right, the stuff a machine might not get.
Exactly. An automated scanner cannot interpret the highly custom economic logic of a brand new DeFi primitive.
Which is where phase two comes in.
Yes. Phase two is a line-by-line manual review by two senior auditors.
Two of them.
That's two independent sets of expert human eyes analyzing the economic plot of the code. But they don't even stop there. They employ mathematical formal verification.
And formal verification isn't just reading code, right?
No, not at all.
It's translating the code into a mathematical model. It's the difference between testing a bridge by driving a few heavy trucks over it versus using physics equations to mathematically prove the bridge cannot collapse under any known force.
Exactly.
They are definitively proving or disproving the correctness of the algorithms. You absolutely cannot get that level of certainty from a cheap automated scanner.
Right.
Okay, so the massive value being offered makes sense. We've got the 37% TVL bump, the two sets of human eyes, the mathematical proof.
Good.
The natural next question is, who exactly are these agents targeting, and how do they overcome the inevitable pushback about the massive price tag that comes with formal verification?
Well, target acquisition is strictly governed. The onboarding packet makes it really clear that agents cannot just spam everyone on social media who has crypto or founder in their bio.
No spray and pray.
Exactly. They have a highly specific ideal client profile focusing on serious infrastructure players, DeFi protocols, launchpads, layer 2 networks and rollups, and Oracle provider.
The big guys.
Right? These are targets that secure massive volume and therefore have massive security budgets.
And just as importantly, the packet outlines a strict do not call list.
Oy.
Agents are explicitly told not to waste time with meme coins. They do not engage anonymous teams with no roadmap, and they stay far away from rug-prone projects or teams with zero budget.
It's just not worth it.
Engaging with those projects not only wastes time, but it actively damages the Oracle Audit brand by associating them with unserious players.
And that brand protection extends directly to how the agent communicates. The brand voice guidelines are incredibly rigorous.
Very strict.
Agents must operate in a zero-hype environment. The tone must be precise, institutional, and entirely evidence-driven.
The packet literally says, absolutely no emojis in client-facing materials, period.
Which is saying something in the Web3 space where like 90% of communication consists of rocket ships, fire emojis, and diamond hands.
Seriously, it's all emojis.
But when you are dealing with protocols managing hundreds of millions of dollars, emojis erode trust. You need to sound like an institution, not a hype man.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The objection handling.
Let's hear it.
Because even if you sound like a legacy financial institution, you are still asking a founder to part with a significant amount of treasury funds.
Oh.
Let's look at the script. The first major objection an agent will face is the classic. We already use a competitor.
Right. And the agent's pivot is remarkably smooth. They don't trash the competitor, which would look defensive and unprofessional.
Of course.
Instead, they say they are a recognized firm, absolutely. However, many protocols engage us for a secondary audit on high-risk deployments.
They sell the concept of layered verification.
Yes.
They remind the founder that Oracle Audit has conducted over 500 past audits and developed over 150 proprietary checks, specifically targeting gas inefficiencies and complex math issues that other firms routinely overlook.
It's so smart.
They wedge their way in not by replacing the competitor, but by offering a specialized, elevated second layer of security.
Then comes the hardest objection to overcome. Audits are too expensive right now. We don't have the budget.
How does the script tackle that without just lowering the price?
The brilliance here is how the agent acknowledges the founder's pain point immediately. They say, I agree, capital efficiency is paramount right now.
So they align with them.
Exactly. They align themselves with the founder's financial reality. But then they swiftly remind them of the existential stakes.
Right.
They point out that a single exploit doesn't just cost money. It results in a 100% loss of TVL and permanently destroys the team's reputation.
Security is infinitely cheaper than extinction.
Well said.
Yeah.
But they don't just lean on fear. They execute a brilliant pivot by turning the cost of the audit into an argument for long-term savings.
Oh.
Yeah, the agent explains that beyond just finding bugs, Oracle Audit provides actionable code snippets for direct remediation, and crucially, they help optimize the smart contracts for gas efficiency.
Ah, so it pays for itself.
Exactly. So the founder isn't just buying a PDF report. They are buying long-term financial returns through cheaper transaction costs for every future user of their platform.
It's an airtight framing of the value proposition. Armed with this pitch, the empirical data on TVL growth in these rebuttals, a new agent has all the theoretical knowledge they need.
They do.
The question then becomes, how does Oracle Audit take a new hire and operationalize them to execute this in the wild within 3 weeks?
That's the crazy part.
Right. Let's look at the 21-day blueprint. The onboarding packet outlines a highly aggressive 3-week sprint to their first commission.
A sprint is right.
Week 1 is purely about absorption. It's drinking from the fire hose. They are reading this massive onboarding packet, internalizing the no-emoji institutional brand voice, and memorizing the objection-handling scripts.
Just getting it all down.
Yeah. They are also diving deep into the core services, which extend beyond just audits. They have to understand how to sell threat modeling, which involves mapping out every possible attack vector before code is even written,
Right.
and actionable intelligence reports, which provide verifiable decision trails for the protocol's investors.
And by week 2, the training wheels come completely off. They have to start hitting the pavement and submitting their first 20 highly qualified leads.
And qualified means they have to do serious reconnaissance.
Oh yeah, they can't just find a project with a busy Discord server.
No.
They have to check the project's GitHub to ensure there are actual consistent code commits. They have to verify a realistic roadmap and ensure the protocol has actual financial backing.
Wow.
Only then do they start scheduling those critical introductory calls.
Which brings us to week 3, refinement and reward. This is where the theoretical meets reality.
The rubber meets the road.
Exactly. They take the live feedback from those intro calls, refine their delivery of the verifiable security narrative, and finally close their first deal, or at least hand a heavily qualified prospect off to a senior closer.
Right.
And then they receive their commission.
The real-world math behind this hustle is highly motivating too. Agents make a standard 10 to 20% commission on every closed audit, paid immediately upon the client's payment clearing.
That's really good.
Yeah, for a standard $12,000 audit, at a mid-range 15% commission, that is $1,800 directly into the agent's pocket. And there are bonuses for securing multi-audit deals or long-term ecosystem partnerships. They are making almost $2,000 just for connecting the dots and navigating the founder's anxiety.
It's a lucrative incentive structure. But an agent can only sell with that level of extreme confidence if they implicitly trust the product they are representing.
That's true. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, what Oracle Audit is actually executing behind the scenes is a massive technological leap that justifies the agent's bold promises.
Right. They aren't just selling human eyes anymore. The technical briefing document details a proprietary innovation called the Smart Audit Flow Framework.
Yes.
This is where Oracle Audit is quietly pulling ahead of the legacy firms. They are combining large language models, LLMs, with a technology called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RA.
The Smart Audit Flow system operates on a plan-execute paradigm. First, the AI adaptively analyzes the smart contract's unique architecture. It figures out the context. Is this a standard ERC-20 token or a complex decentralized governance contract? Based on that, it generates a custom prioritized audit plan.
And the RA component is where it gets incredibly powerful.
Definitely.
Think of RA like having a genius auditor reading the smart contract code while simultaneously speed reading every single known exploit database, bug bounty report, and security registry in the world in milliseconds.
It's basically superpowers.
It is. When the AI identifies a potential vulnerability in the code, it uses RA to instantly cross-reference and validate its findings against authoritative, up-to-the-second external sources like the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures Registry.
So it's not just guessing.
Exactly. It isn't just hallucinating a guess. It is actively fact-checking its own work against the entire history of Web3 hacks.
The performance metrics for this system are absolutely staggering. According to the internal documents, Smart Audit Flow achieved 100% accuracy on standard vulnerability benchmark sets.
100%.
Yeah. To put that dominance into perspective, Older traditional analysis tools like Mithril only hit 72% accuracy.
That's a huge gap.
And even if you just used a standalone state-of-the-art LLM like GPT-4o without the R-grade framework, it only hits 92.3%.
Wow. Hitting 100% accuracy on standard vulnerability sets is a massive technological hammer for these agents to have in their tool belt.
Oh, absolutely.
It completely justifies the premium price tag they're pitching.
Without a doubt.
So, what does this all mean? Let's recap the journey we've been on. We started by unpacking the true identity of the field agent, not as a coder, but as a critical trust distributor.
Yep.
We looked at their winning pitch, shifting the focus from finding bugs to delivering a verifiable security narrative that drives a proven 37% bump in TVL.
Right.
We explored how they systematically dismantle budget objections by pivoting to gas efficiency and capital preservation. And we walked through the intense psychology of their 21-day sprint to pocket their first major commission, all backed by the 100% accuracy of the Smart Audit Flow AI framework.
It is a brilliantly oiled machine. But, this raises an important question. It's a final provocative thought I want to leave you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
We just broke down how Smart Audit Flow and these AI agentic workflows are making the technical side of audits faster, infinitely more adaptive, and flawlessly accurate on standard vulnerabilities.
Right.
The technology is scaling beautifully. Yet, according to the briefing document, the ratio of audited DeFi protocols has actually severely declined over the years.
I couldn't believe that stat when I read it. In 2019, 50% of all protocols were audited. Today, despite all this incredible technology, it has dropped to just 30%.
Yeah. The document attributes this massive drop to a widening supply-demand gap. The Web3 market is expanding faster than specialized security firms can handle, creating huge backlogs.
Makes sense.
So here's the question. In a world where AI is making the technical discovery of bugs faster and more accurate than ever before in human history, why is the human element, the trust, built by these field agents navigating a founder's fear, still the ultimate bottleneck to securing the future of decentralized finance?
That is a great question. It all comes roaring back to the medical device rep analogy.
Exactly.
You can engineer the absolute perfect robotic scalpel. You can back it up with 100% mathematical accuracy and advanced AI. But until a human being sits across the table, looks another human being in the eye, and convinces them it is entirely safe to use well, the surgery simply doesn't happen.
It really doesn't.
The technology is ready, but the trust still requires a human touch. And that is exactly why the field agent remains the most vital piece of the Web3 security puzzle.
Space is limited, paper's not. Big energy in it.